Studio Microphone Weather News Report, Invest 98L. The Caribbean enters a stormy week. Ladies and gentlemen, a new tropical disturbance has just formed off the eastern shores of the Caribbean, and international meteorological agencies have officially assigned it a tracking code, Invest 98L. This system is being described as the opening wave of what could become a volatile stretch of weather in the week ahead. It carries deep tropical moisture, strong gusty winds, and the potential to develop into a full tropical cyclone as it moves into the eastern and central Caribbean. This is a special weather broadcast, airing from our forecast center in Florida, dedicated to viewers across the Caribbean and the Bahamas. I'll walk you through everything we know about Invest 98L, its structure, movement, development potential, and the specific impacts it may bring to each island group in the days ahead. Wave: the origin of Invest 98L, a tropical wave right on our doorstep. On satellite imagery this morning, we can easily identify a thick belt of convective clouds stretching from east of Barbados down toward Trinidad and Tobago. That is the core of the tropical wave now designated Invest 98L, an area the National Hurricane Center, NHC, has placed under special observation since early today. Currently, the system sits over very warm tropical waters around 30 degrees Celsius, which provides a favorable energy source to sustain convection. However, its structure remains broad and disorganized, without a well-defined low-level center. Experts note that the southern and eastern quadrants show intense convection, while the northwest side is being suppressed by mid-level dry air. In other words, 98L is still struggling to consolidate itself. Even though it's not yet a tropical depression, its impacts are already being felt. In Trinidad and Tobago, the government has issued an adverse weather alert, level 2, along with a hazardous seas warning, as offshore wave heights have reached 2.5 to 3 meters. Buoy observations report gusts around 35 to 40 miles per hour, 60 to 65 kilometers per hour. And rainfall totals over the past 24 hours have exceeded 50 millimeters in several locations. Conditions are expected to worsen in the next 48 hours, as the center of the moisture plume moves directly into the Windward Islands, including Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and Trinidad and Tobago. Umbrella with rain drops: heavy rain and strong winds, weekend warning. According to the latest forecast, Sunday and Monday will bring the first major rainfall event from Invest 98L. Thick convective clouds will continue drifting west-northwest, delivering widespread showers and thunderstorms. In many areas, rainfall totals may reach 75 to 125 millimeters, with localized peaks up to 150 millimeters, especially across mountainous and southern coastal zones. The risk of flash flooding, mudslides, and landslides is considered high, particularly in St. Vincent, Grenada, and northern Trinidad. Meanwhile, thunderstorm gusts could reach 60 to 70 kilometers per hour, strong enough to topple small trees or disrupt power lines. The sea state is also very rough. Waves of 2.5 to 3 meters will continue pounding coastal areas, posing serious danger to small fishing and recreational vessels. Local authorities are urging residents to stay ashore, secure rooftops and windows, and clear drainage systems ahead of heavy rainfall. Those living in flood-prone areas should prepare flashlights, backup batteries, clean water, and dry food supplies sufficient for 2 to 3 days in case of power outages or road closures. Cyclone development forecast: possible formation of tropical storm Melissa. The National Hurricane Center, NHC, currently estimates a 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation within 7 days. But most experts believe that number could quickly rise to 50 to 60% as conditions improve. Environmental factors are turning more favorable. High sea surface temperatures providing abundant energy. Rich low-level moisture, reducing dry intrusions. And most importantly, decreasing vertical wind shear as the system moves into the eastern and central Caribbean. If Invest 98L strengthens into a named storm, it will be called Melissa. However, Its track and final intensity remain highly uncertain. Forecast models are currently split into two scenarios. Scenario 1, from the GFS, US, model, shows 98L drifting slowly west, gradually intensifying into a tropical storm as it nears Hispaniola and Puerto Rico later in the week. This model indicates a moderate-strength tropical storm, capable of producing prolonged heavy rain and gusty winds. Scenario 2, from the European ECMWF, suggests the system could be blocked by strong upper-level westerlies, causing it to stall or drift northward, perhaps toward Jamaica rather than Central America. The ensemble mean of all model runs places the center somewhere southeast of Jamaica. But the spread ranges widely from Nicaragua to Puerto Rico. This means all outcomes remain possible, and residents throughout the Central and Eastern Caribbean should remain on alert. Round pushpin impacts by region. Lesser Antilles, Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago. These islands will experience the earliest and most direct impacts: heavy rain, thunderstorms, and gusts of 35 to 45 miles per hour are expected. Widespread flooding is possible in low-lying coastal zones. The sea will remain rough, with waves up to 3 meters, dangerous for fishing and small transport vessels. Eastern Caribbean, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenadines. The next 2 days will be the peak impact period. Power outages, fallen trees, and minor landslides are possible. Weather alerts at level 2 to 3 remain in effect. Central Caribbean, Jamaica, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. From midweek onward, 98L's moisture envelope may reach this region. If the system slows down, it could bring multi-day heavy rainfall, causing river flooding in low-lying valleys. Jamaica has already seen strong afternoon thunderstorms, signaling the growing tropical moisture field. Western Caribbean, Honduras, Nicaragua, Belize. By next weekend, some models indicate the possible formation of a secondary low in the Western Caribbean monsoon trough. Even if it doesn't develop into a storm, widespread rainfall of 100 to 150 millimeters appears likely. Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. Relatively dry for now, with only brief showers expected. However, if 98L strengthens and moves north, large swells and strong winds could affect the islands after October 25. Satellite model guidance, emerging scenarios. We have compared data from 3 primary model systems: GFS, US, ECMWF, Europe, and Google DeepMind AI, the machine learning model trained on global atmospheric datasets. GFS indicates the center will consolidate by Tuesday, then slow down over the Central Caribbean. By Friday, the model shows a tropical storm strength system near Hispaniola. The reason? Strong upper-level westerly winds pulling it northeast and preventing westward motion into Central America. ECMWF, on the other hand, keeps the low farther south, moving slowly and staying disorganized for several days, leading to prolonged heavy rainfall. Some ensemble members even stall the system between Jamaica and Haiti for up to 3 days. Google DeepMind AI shows a similar setup, with 98L stalling near the waters between Haiti, Jamaica, and the ABC Islands before gradually moving north. This suggests that, even without rapid intensification, this could still be the most active week of the hurricane season for the Caribbean region. Warning safety advice: preparing before the storm. The danger of Invest 98L lies not only in its wind strength but in its slow movement and immense moisture content. A slow-moving system means persistent rainfall, and on steep island terrain, that increases the risk of flooding and landslides dramatically. If you live anywhere from Barbados to Jamaica, please closely monitor updates from your National Meteorological Service. Prepare an emergency plan if your home is near rivers or hillsides. Limit travel during heavy rain. Keep your phone fully charged, with power banks and flashlights ready in case of outages. Fishermen and mariners should exercise extreme caution. Over the next 5 days, wave heights could exceed 3 meters, creating very rough and hazardous seas. Secure your boats at port and postpone offshore activities. Sun behind rain cloud the broader weather picture, from the Caribbean to North America. Aside from Invest 98L, North America is also facing a strong atmospheric system causing rough weather. In southern Ontario, Canada, a deep low-pressure area is moving through, bringing heavy rain and winds up to 70 km per hour. Across the Greater Toronto Area, rainfall totals are expected to reach 5 to 15 millimeters, while in Timmins and Sault Ste. Marie, up to 50 to 75 millimeters is forecast. By early next week, westerly winds will shift cold air across the region, signaling the arrival of the first autumn chill. However, the main focus tonight remains the Caribbean, where millions are closely watching the evolution of Invest 98L. Folded hands conclusion: stay ahead of the storm. Ladies and gentlemen, Invest 98L may still be just a tropical disturbance, but its effects are already real: heavy rain, gusty winds, rough seas, and flood threats. Whether or not it becomes a named storm, it is poised to have a major regional impact in the coming week. If you found this report helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with family or friends living across the Caribbean, so everyone can stay prepared. When storms approach, the most powerful tools we have are calm and early preparation. As Scripture reminds us, stand firm, let nothing move you, and do everything in love. Wishing you a peaceful and safe evening amid these challenging tropical days.